recollections that lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Well, as usual, a good afternoon, everyone. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, and it brings me great pleasure to welcome you back to one of my favorite places. We spent some time last week on Granny's vanity. Now we're in her kitchen, and we're going to get right to it. I have so much fun collecting these things, and as you know, if you've been watching me for a while, I love the 1920s and 30s and 40s, and we're right up in there today. I can't wait to tell you about everything that you see here on this counter, so let's get with it. But first, today's cup of coffee is brought to you by...
A cup of coffee, a sandwich, and you, a cozy corner, a table for two.
Well, of course, who else? The Anchor Hocking Company and their Fire King oven glass from the 1940s. This is a restaurant-ware cup and saucer here. These restaurant-ware cup and saucers are sought after, and they're not too easy to find unless you pay an arm and a leg. Where's my ginger snap? It's hiding in Grandma's kitchen somewhere, and we're going to find it. Let's talk about what's what. Grandma always had some type of a planter in the kitchen. Mine did. And I was lucky enough to know two of my great-grandmothers, both of whom were born in the 1890s. And I remember being in their kitchens when I was a boy because they lived into ripe old age. So it's a blessing to know grandmothers and great-grandmothers. But here's a little Scotty Planter. This is probably made in the USA, though it's unmarked. The bowl in the back is unmarked as well, and it just has that old feel and that definite popular color of the 1930s, which is this jade green color. That 90 in the V is somebody's magic marker notation on the bottom. I don't know what it means, and I'm not sure who made the bowl, but you can see there are some scratches. That's not a crack on the bottom, it just happens to be a pretty deep scratch. So a nice pottery mixing bowl there. Before, everybody was using saran wrap and tin foil and Scotch tape. Our grandmothers wrapped her packages up in brown parchment paper and tied them off with string. And that's what this is, this little coffee pot right here with the hole in the top. String would be placed inside, and then this would sit on the kitchen counter just like that, or anywhere in the kitchen, and the string could be pulled out. Oftentimes meat would come and things from the grocery store, and in the Depression, our grandmothers, not only did they save their hair, they saved string as well for future use. And that's what this is. It's in good shape. Oh my goodness. You don't find these every day, and they don't survive like that. It's made by McKee. It's Red Dot. And it's a refrigerator dish, and I'm almost afraid to touch it because there's not a chip or a crack or a scratch on it. It's really in the best condition you could ever hope to find one of these in. It's got uranium in it, and it will glow beautifully under a black light. It does have McKee stamped on the bottom, and it's just, the condition of it is absolutely unbelievable. I was shocked when I pulled this out of the Goodwill, I think last summer. I've been hoarding this for quite a while, but it's time to let it go. I am a collector, but I'm also in the business, and I don't save everything for myself. Somebody's going to love to have this. It's from the 30s, and it should sell for between $150 and $180. Back here are 3 baking dishes, bread baking dishes, in a wonderful Art Deco pattern. Some of you may remember these. Bake Rex crownware. Now these are all in good shape. There's a little bit of surface rust in the other 2. Well, there might be some surface rust in that one too. So these really are for, I guess, decor, but you could certainly bake in those if you get the rust out of there. Oh, there's that Rogue Ginger Snap. I wondered what happened to that. Pardon me, everyone, while I dunk. You guys dunk too, right? What are you having today? Well, thank goodness. All we've got left is parking lot snow, as you saw in my video yesterday. And I don't know if we're going to get any more, but we have had snow on Easter in this part of the country. A canister for the kitchen counter. It's unmarked. I'm not sure who made it. I love the Art Deco pattern to it. And this has no chips or cracks, and it's in excellent condition. Good for cookies or anything else that you'd like to keep in your kitchen. Very nice. Deco style. Pour your honey with style in this little honey jar here. Honey pot with the bumblebee on the top. There was probably a cork in here at one time, which is now missing, but if you want to use this for honey, I suppose you could put the cork back in it. It is unmarked, but it is in excellent condition. Again, there are no chips, not even on any of those little tiny wings. Made in Japan in the 1920s and 30s, these Majalika style kitchen canisters were always very popular in this basket weave. These are usually cracked, and they usually have lots of stains on them. This has no cracks and no stains, and we'll let you have a closer look. What I like about this set, or this example, you can see nothing was scraped off. Someone may say, oh, too bad, whatever it was is gone. But no, you can see that there was nothing under the glaze that told us what went in this. So I suppose paper labels could have been pasted on there to let us know if we're dealing with sugar, flour, barley, cereal, coffee, tea, etc. So use it for whatever you want. If you don't want to put a label on there, display it that way. If you'd like, without the rectangle in the front. But I like that. And then way back here is a wonderful spice set. And this is McKee also, Tip City. Let's see, we've got the metal rack there, which will hang. There are holes. You can screw that into your inside of a cabinet or on the wall. It's milk glass, and there's no condition problems with any of the glass. They're super clean. We've got original lids in various states of existence. I don't know. They have not been repainted, these lids, but they seem to have all survived in different levels of condition. And the salt and the pepper here in the middle, there's pepper, and salt. You can see salt was used a little bit more. There's a little bit of wear on the salt shaker, not as much on the pepper. And those are original decals, graphics on the front there. But the other jars back here have replacement labels. Now this, I don't know if they're still printed, I imagine so, but when Depression was so hot in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you could get reproduced labels. And I will show you up close. These are like color form, decal type things that have been placed over the tops of these jars. You can see that. They're very Art Deco on the sides. And I don't see any ghost marks telling us what the label was originally. They may have had paper labels on them originally, and that is the case in many, many instances, and those paper labels get cruddy. They're easy to get off, the paper labels. So just so you know, this is a reproduction on the front. It's nicely done. It looks very 1930s, 40s. I like the colors. And we'll put these back. You can see all the spices there. I have the lid off of this one to let you know that they do have the shaker tops on the inside. So these all very much can still be used in today's modern kitchens if you'd care to. Here is a Delphi Shaker with a top in bad shape. These can be replaced. It's not really focusing, you can see. The metal really deteriorates. I don't even think it stays on tightly, but... And that, if I remember, is a Jeanette piece as well. These are ribbed Jeanette shakers, and there's jadeite, I'm sorry, there is uranium in these, so these glow under black light as well. There are no lids. Now these are not reproductions. I know my reproductions when it comes to jadeite. Woo! And but this is the real thing. Salt is almost completely gone on this one. This one used to say salt, and we can see the ghost marks right there. Do you see that? S-A-L-T. I see it. That brown will not come off. I have tried and tried and tried to get that off. I think it's an inclusion in the glass. Remember, these factories were dirty. This was mass-produced. There was no quality control. And you will find little specks. That could be a piece of ash or grease or just something that got in the glass when it was being manufactured, because I can't get that off, and I think that, as I said, that's down in the glass. Alright, so what do you do with them? Well, turn them in that direction, put lids on them, and you're good to go. Or display them just like that. Nicely used. Here's Vitrock, made by the Anchor Hocking Company in the 1930s, and it's got an Art Deco style to it. Vitrock was what they named their milk glass. Well, it wasn't always milk. It was an opaque glass which could come in different colors. Much like the glass that was made, the platinite that was made by McKee. But here we have an original lid. This is not marked. It's not supposed to be. Blank on the back, and the nice sort of deco on the front. I'm keeping this wonderful spoon, as you can probably guess why. The rolling pin is a nice heavy stainless steel rolling pin, and it's got nice weight to it. Put this in the refrigerator and make nice cold, roll out your dough when it's nice and cold. Get that crispy pie crust. Heavy early plastic handles. This is probably from the 50s. Red really comes into the kitchen in the 1940s, and it stays popular in kitchens into the 50s. Not a huge popular color in kitchens in the 30s, but definitely the 40s and 50s we see lots of red. This, I think, is, although there's no maker's mark on it, I think it's Crispy Crust, I think is who, spelled with a K, I believe is who the manufacturer was of that. Here's an old can opener with a patent date on it of 1929. So we really are in the 30s here, and it is in excellent, excellent condition. This one is made in Vermont, Burlington, I think. Here we go. The Edland Junior number 5. Burlington, Vermont. You can see the patent dates on there. The last one being 1929. Just a few months before the stock market crashed. Here are some salt and pepper shakers back here. You might have remembered these came from a flea market last summer. Notice they don't match. They're the same size. These are old lids. But the graphics on the front are slightly different. Not a big deal. Just be aware of it. This is probably a McKee product as well. And you got to have a green uranium glass reamer in the kitchen. Granny always had one. You'll find these, they're not rare, they're all over the place, but they're usually chipped up like nobody's business. This one, I'm proud to say, or happy to say, is as smooth as a kitten's ear. There's not a chip or a crack or any issues with this at all. So if you're looking for one, a nice size one in really good shape, here you go. Let's see, Jeanette, Anchor, Hocking, one of those companies. This glows like a phosphorescent jellyfish, and that means it's fry glass. F-R-Y, heat-resistant glass. And they made casserole dishes and so forth. I love this glass, it's underappreciated. That piece of glass on the top of my coffee pot back there is fry as well. Can you see it glowing up there? Now this one doesn't have chips, but it does have a good deal of roughness. Where, you know, these things were banged around in the Depression kitchen for years, right? And we can see, boy, this really got used. There's a lot of roughness on the top of that reamer, but really, for display, you can't go wrong. Behind it is a 1946 Filco radio for display purposes only. I sometimes have to decide what I'm going to work on and what I'm not going to work on in terms of repair. It's all there. All the tubes are inside the speaker. The dial turns. It's all original and all complete. There's no breaks or cracks in the Bakelite cabinet. But it is a non-functioning radio. There is no electric cord on it. So I'm really selling it as a decor piece or to be restored. You could put this on your kitchen counter for the look of the 1940s. 1946 is the date on that. Can't find the maker of these. They're unmarked, I'm not sure, but they look very much like something that would have come out of the Depression era. Maybe even into the 50s. You can see the lids are original. I love the yellow stripes. And this set is in great shape. As I said, I've never seen it before. We have a salt and a pepper and a sugar shaker. Let's focus again. There we go. And so I love these. I haven't had a chance to go through my Depression books to see if I can identify them. And then finally another piece I'm selling just for display purposes only because it's not functioning. But boy, it's got the look of the 30s. If you're redoing a soda fountain theme, or the Depression era theme, here's a great mixer, and it's not huge. We can see that it is a Gilbert. I love the Art Deco writing on the front there. I think I'm blocking my light. Let's get this bad boy out of here. It's got the toggle switch on the back. And as I said, it would need to be rewired, and there's no guarantee that this is going to be running. Wait a minute. Let's hear it. I love that sound. You don't hear that clicking sound of toggle switches anymore, do you? Sort of a jadeite color again on the base. And this is cast iron, very heavy. Some rust on the bottom, but I cleaned it. And the motor is not all froze up, as you can see. it is turning. So anybody want to restore that? It probably will work okay. If not, it really looks nice just on the kitchen counter as a display piece. So I'm going to back up now. My coffee should be cool enough for me to drink because it was boiling hot. You can pour boiling water in Fire King, but don't pour it in regular depression glass. You'll have pieces of glass and coffee all over the floor. I've done it. Bad mistake. Oh, I love sharing these old depression items with you, and everything is for sale in the Old Curiosity Shop except my spoon. And I've got enough stuff to do part 2, but I think I'll hold on to it. And next time I'm back, maybe we'll do another variety show, right? Instead of a theme. We've been doing lots of themes lately. But I think you guys like it. I kind of have fun putting it together. Okay, folks. That's it. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop. As always, saying thanks for watching, and so long for now.